Hello, friends. White. We get the white pieces, and I am an E4 player. Opponent is from Brazil. If he wants a game. Fabio, shall we play a game? Maybe he's having some connectivity issues. Looks like his signal's pretty low. Yeah, he's offline. So may not get a game here. But I don't want to abandon it myself because I want the white pieces again, if I can get them. I think there's some sort of algorithm that should give me the white pieces back if my opponent is the one that abandons the game. But if I abort, I might get the black pieces. I think I've heard that somewhere. So we're gonna try a new game. I guess that was incorrect. Yeah, unfactual information because I got the black pieces this time, and that's frustrating because I wanted the white pieces. Oh well. I played Alakines last time. I think I will go back to Sicilian lines this time against my Canadian opponent. And we get a C3 Sicilian. And I am a fan of the barman. I don't know why it's not listing the opening up there in the bar, but see, do I take here? I don't think it's wrong to take here, get an isolated pawn. I'm not sure that this is exactly book. Kind of want to develop this before I push my e pawn, but then I'm limited as to what I can use to block the potential checks here. Also, he's going to develop the knight and drive my queen out. If I develop and he develops the knight, and I take and he takes, um, I've got to take the queen, and then he checks me and wins the rook, so that doesn't work out. Um, hmm. I think I am going to open up the dark square bishop so that I can pin the knight if he attacks my queen. I'm comfortable keeping my bishop on inside here because I can reposition it and still have a pretty good attack on the king side. Now he's preventing my pin. It's going to prevent my pin. So what? Hmm, I do always have the swinging over here, but now that my light square bishop is blocked in, I don't know if that's great for me. I'm not playing this the way I normally play. I don't think I normally take on the D4 square. I think I leave the tension there and I develop my pieces. But I don't think this is terrible. I'm not losing. think I'm just going to continue some development. I'll get the knight out and pressurize the center a bit more. I'm expecting him to develop his queenside knight, and then I have some choices. Um, I can sidestep over to the H file. F5 looks silly because he's going to develop a tempo. My other option on the fifth rank is A5. He breaks the pin, and I end up moving my queen again. So maybe I just go back. Because I'm running into the same thing here. He develops the bishop to E2, and the pin is, it's not really a pin there to begin with, but there's a discovered attack. Back, I run into a self pin. You could have ideas of targeting this C7 square as well. So I'm going to go for a dance here. I'm going to go for A5 with the idea of coming back to D8, like in the Scandinavian lines, because I want to guard. I want to stay guarding the C7 square. So he's got a choice of break the pin, but I don't know how great the bishop is right there. Um, I think the bishop wants to be out here, but if he does that immediately, then I bring the knight in and I pile up pressure. He can break the pin this way, but then perhaps I give up the bishop. Takes, takes, takes. Oh, he guards this. So can I come here immediately anyway? Can I come here? And he breaks the pin, and I take with the bishop. He takes, I take. I have two pieces piled up on an undefended piece. It seems like I win the piece back. Am I wrong? Am I miscalculating? Here, he doesn't have to break the pin this way. He could just defend the knight. Pretty reasonable to just defend the knight. Mm, here, rook c1. Takes, takes, takes. So the rook would have to take instead of the pawn, so that the pawn can keep that defended. I think this is the move. And try and not overthink it too much. And if he breaks it with the pawn, I can take with the bishop. So that's a lose. That's not great for white. He could also defend it with the queen. And my knight is attacked. So what then? Probably have to trade then. Okay. He does defend with the queen. And now, say I defend. I defend the knight. He might have this. No, he doesn't. He does not have that because I take it and the rook is hanging now. But I am weakening my king side quite a bit if I defend. If I defend and he brings the bishop out to attack again, I think that's just bad for me. So I can retreat or I can take. Where would be I just go back, go to d6. I don't know if I like d6. It blocks my bishop. I think I just take. And now if he takes with the pawn, I'm going to have a hanging pawn structure to fight against. I'm going to get my bishops developed and swing my rooks uh, to the D and C files. And I'm gonna trade queens. So hanging pawns. All right, I want my rooks on D and C to fight these guys, and yeah, I think that's my play. He's gonna want to pile up his rooks behind them. I need to blockade them as quickly as possible to keep them from pushing forward. He can't quite swing his rook over yet. He's got a liability here on the A pawn. Isolated A pawn. He does need to get this bishop developed so that he can castle. I need the same thing. So yeah, that seems reasonable. To develop my bishop also. And I'm gonna think about just stepping up with the king. I don't know if I want where I want. I might want a kingside pawn storm at the right moment if he does castle. I think mainly I'm gonna want my king in the center because it could quickly liquidate into an end game, and I want my king closer to the action. He does castle. I'm gonna bring my rook, and I'm gonna look to blockade this pawn chain here. I want the hanging pawns immobile. So he can swing a rook over. My knight move would threaten these, and that would give me time to blockade this. Um, maybe. He swings the rook over to defend. He could do the other rook. No, he can't, because that's hanging the pawn. So if he swings the other rook over, I can go here with the knight, threaten the fork, and he still can't come over. Maybe he just lifts this rook to keep it defended. He advances the pawn as is. He's going to threaten to do what? Drive my bishop back? Hmm. Tempted to come here with the knight because if he comes forward, I'm going to have a hole. I'm going to have an outpost. That's going to be beautiful. I will have to withdraw my bishop, but that's okay. I like this move. Although he might have this. Takes, 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 takes. Materials equal. And he's liquidated his hanging pawns. Hmm. I don't know that my knight move was the best move now. Don't want him to be able to liquidate these pawns, but he's going to get to. I don't know that I could have blockaded them any quicker. He pushes, and I take, and he takes, and I take. He takes. My king's exposed. I'm going to want to castle at that point, but he does not do it. Okay. So now I'm going to get to play on the light squares. Maybe he brings his bishop to threaten my pawn. Nope, he brings his rook. But I defend it. Mind taking that. I don't mind taking that. I'm going to give up the bishop for that because this pawn is going to be just fine as long as this one's blocking it. And I'm going to have an awesome outpost here. So material's equal, but his pawns are disconnected and mine are connected. So I have targets. I have targets. Hmm. Tempted just to lash out with g5. It looks like a free pawn. And if I move my rook, he's got an anchor, and that bishop is a thorn. But then I just take it, and I'm piling up on uh, g2. But he doesn't have to. He could. Let's see. Could just lash out with it. Prevent f4. think he does want to go f4 to support this. So I'm going to go g5 and offer him up a pawn for a little activity, see if he takes it. I don't think he would be wise to take it, but it does prevent f4. And if bishop takes, rook g8, bishop back. I don't see anything better than bishop back. Okay, so the battery's not there anymore, and I can just go ahead and defend. Just go ahead and defend. Should I push g4 myself? Hmm. G4. Uh, I like I like h6 because I have good control over the light squares already with a light square bishop and my pawns. I want to kind of balance out the absence of my dark square bishop. My knight's very well placed. I don't think he wants to trade it and go opposite colored bishops, um, because then he would never dislodge this bishop without sacrificing the exchange. And I think I'm going to just lift my king and start trying to figure out a way to round up a pawn. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. How do I collect on a pawn? Get the rooks connected, and I could just see if I can push my F pawn. I don't know if I want to open up things though with both rooks still on the board. Might not be great. I have 6 minutes. Opponent has 8:43. Hmm. Well, let's swing my rook over. X-ray on the bishop. He brings the bishop down. I lift the rook. And then what? Okay, he doesn't bring the bishop down. He defends it. Approaching 5 minutes. So what about pushing here and moving my king up the board? Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna auto take back with the king. Probably should think that through a little more though. Like if he takes, what happens if I take with the knight? I think he just attacks the knight, opens everything up. No, I would break open his king side. So if I take with the knight, he takes there, and I'm taking with the pawn, and yeah, this is going to come down. That's going to be messy. I don't want that. So I think taking with the king. Yeah, taking with the king. Now I've got an isolated pawn. Bishop can't check me. I'm not worried about him exchanging because I take it, and the bishop is uh, a very nice piece. Opposite colored bishops, but I mean, I'm playing the black pieces, so I'll take that. I still have good targets, although both of these are on dark squares. I'd love to keep the knight in play to target those. And I don't see what he gains by just giving me a check. So I don't see him sacrificing the light square bishop for this. Okay, he targets my isolated pawn. Can't say that I blame him. So let's lift a rook to unpin that pawn, defend b7, and well, shoot. Now he does kind of have this check because the knight capture, or that. I block, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, and he takes, and my knight's still hanging. I may have just given up the exchange. Ah, sidestep this and then threaten that. All right. So I'm down the exchange. Down the exchange. Got ways to defend this. I would love to get the bishop defending it. So maybe I come forward with the knight and bring the bishop forward, free up my knight to start trying to round up a pawn. And then I can also free up my rook. Unless he piles up rooks. If he tries to stack rooks on the pawn, I mean, here. Doesn't seem like a good move. He goes to a dark square. I protect it with a knight. He kicks my knight. Kick his bishop. He takes, I take, he takes with check. Take the pawn. My king's running out there in the middle of the board. I don't know. I don't know. I have to visualize that position. He stacked. Oh, that's currently occupied. Yeah, he can't do that. That would be silly. So coming here, and I attack the rook. So he does neither of those things. He does none of those things. Um, what's he getting at here? What's he trying to do? I've got this, opening up a double attack on the G pawn. That doesn't seem too bad. He backs up with the bishop, and I get my spot. Does keep my knight out of. Oh, he wants to trade. He wants to trade. Knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes. And that's bad news bears for me. I'm down two pieces. He's down one. So no bueno there. Start with the rook. He takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes. Down a pawn. 3 minutes. I take, I guard after he takes back. It seems like a reasonable choice. Knight versus a rook. I want to trade pawns. Okay, so I attack. He takes, I take, he takes. I'm still down a pawn. I don't see anything better, so he's going to get a pawn. He's going to try and run his king up. So let's try to save this pawn for a moment and force his hand on the rooks. Now I can target his a rook or his a pawn after. And if he's not careful, he might run into a bit of a fork. With my knight, if he tries to advance his hmm, rook here, would be a problem. Why don't I advance my no, because then he just challenges and can't run the king without dropping this pawn either. So my knight's doing a really good job of keeping things threatened over here. He's also on defensive duty. I don't want to come up here because that allows a check. And then he gets to, well, maybe that's not great for him either. Can I get my knight over there somehow, some way? Perhaps I just push my pawn. He just gave me a rook. He forgot the knight was defending there. Oh, I got, whew. Yeah, that was a blunder that gave me the game. They happen at all levels, folks. What would he like to say? Thanks, friend. Good sport. Good sport. Let's look at our game review. I'm curious about my middle game. We played it kind of equally. I played a tenth of a point better, 2150s by both of us. I got the thumbs up on all of them. He played an outstanding opening and middle game, and he lost it in the end game. Um, Pretty equal. We both had a blunder. I had a miss. So let's take a look at this. I try to play a Sicilian. This is not the typical Sicilian that I play. This is still book, but I think here uh, I think I generally go for development, fast development. I develop the knight in Blitz a lot, which is also a book move. And then I look at getting my bishop out here after he develops his knight and potentially castle queenside real quick. It's dangerous, but that's the line I'm more familiar with. This was perfectly playable though. Book, 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 book. It wanted me to challenge with e5 immediately. Okay. Offer up a queen trade and have the kings in the middle of the board. That was the book line. Okay. I'm glad I settled on it. Going back, best move. White has a 0.5 edge. I should have developed the bishop here. Might have been a better option, but this was, I mean, I have a bad habit of going for some cheap tactics sometimes. Taking was the best move. And queen takes. I made a miss here. This was a mistake by my opponent, and I took with the queen, thinking I could play against the hanging pawns. But what's the right move here? Oh, the right move here is to develop the bishop, pinning the queen, forcing him to take, and picking up the exchange. Ah, tactics. I would have felt so much better about my game if I'd have found this move, because that's the best move. Yeah, bishop, bishop b4. I got kind of sidetracked with pawn structure and thought hanging pawns were good for me. Slight edge for white, though. Bishop development was good. I should have castled. He starts marching forward. It's still a dead equal game. White doesn't get an edge until a little while later. Hmm. Picking was wonderful. My great move of the game was getting that knight and not allowing him to take the light square bishop. So knight, wonderful outpost. It's exactly where the knight wants to be. This was a bit of a dubious move, but I think the logic was sound. I should have prepared it first, but what happens if he does take it? Let's take a quick gander at if he does take it, still dead equal. He's up a pawn, but it's equal. So I'm gonna threaten here, which is a wonderful idea. And where's the best place for the bishop to go? Where's the best place? It's not here. Thinking maybe going back. Back? No, that's a blunder. Oh, just defend the bishop. But then I kick the bishop. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'm coming here. So that's why it's a blunder because this and this are hanging and this is devastating. So that's not a great move for for white. What is white? It wants white to do this. But after this, oh, the bishop's still on the knight move. But I can I sack the knight? It's a brilliancy. A brilliant move. Bishop takes, rook takes here, and do I just windmill him? Or do I have time to windmill him? Yeah, I think I just pick up the bishop here. No, it wants me to windmill. Here, 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 and here, picking up the light square bishop, or why all the way over there? Why not pick up the light square bishop? Is this, I mean, is perpetual the best I have? Why all the way over here? I mean, perpetual must be the best that I have because I don't see anything better than this. It just wants me to do a perpetual there. So we're going to go, sorry for the all the way back. Um, okay. So white plays bishop here. Um, I defend my pawn, and it's dead equal. I lift my king, which was okay. I bring the other rook, and I break open the center, move my king forward. This was a mistake. That was a blunder. Blunderous move. And I saw that after the fact. I think this allowed, what did this, oh, this allowed the bishop. Yeah, I didn't see it for the right reason. No, I gave up the exchange here unnecessarily. Blunder. White is a clear advantage here because I gave up an exchange. This was incorrect. I should have defended with the knight immediately and threatened the G pawn. Yeah, I kind of like that in hindsight because if he comes back with the bishop, I no, I don't want to take. I really need this anchor here. I mean, with best play, White still has a 3-point advantage, so he's going to get a pawn out of this, I'm certain. Where does White make his blunder? Oh, it's much later. He has an edge for quite a while. Yeah, it's just crushing. Um, it's not easy though. I mean, the knight is doing a pretty good job keeping these pawns from moving forward, keeping the king tied back. He can't really advance without abandoning his pawns. The pawns can't go forward because this one will hang. So that was the best move, really. Oh, and I should have just given him the pawn, maybe. Yeah, he missed the fork up here. This was just um, yeah, well, not even a fork. He just missed the fact that the knight was protecting this pawn and gave me a piece. So that was his blunder. My blunder was giving up the exchange. All right. Well, uh, not my best game. I'm going to keep working, keep doing some tactical drills, and keep pressing to 2000, seeing if I can't make that climb in the near future. I hope you all enjoyed that. If I missed anything in the game, please let me know in the comments. If you saw a tactic, position, something that I missed in my out loud thought process, let me know, and uh, I will see you next time.